In this video on FX Blue Trade Copier, I'm going to take you through some of the common errors you may face and how to fix them. I'll just drag and drop the FX Blue Trade Copier sender onto the chart. Make sure that Allow DLL imports is ticked. And in the inputs section, one of the important sections you need to complete and check on the other side for the receiver as well is that the channel matches the value. So for example, I've got here trade copy with a capital C. You need to make sure that that exactly matches on the receiver side as well so that they can connect up. You can choose to include certain symbols so that it doesn't copy, say, Forex if you only want to trade index markets. You can make sure that it only trades the symbols that you want to copy over. You can do the same with magic numbers or order comments. So if you have algorithms running, that's something that you can also filter out on both the sender and the receiver side. You can choose not to include pending orders by setting it to false so that it will only look for market orders. And you can also require it to set a stop loss. I've got this set to false because sometimes I don't set the stop loss straight away. For example, if I got in at market, it wouldn't copy it across unless I had a stop loss involved. Some of the issues around lot sizing come from the lot sizing and pricing section. On the sender side, you can either use the lot size multiplier or use a fixed lot size. I generally keep the lot size multiplier just at 1.0 and then affect the changes on the sender side. That's about it for the sender side, so I'm going to now go over to the receiver and show you some of the other options on that side. Same deal with the receiver side, so make sure the allowed DLL imports is set up. I'm going to go inputs, ensuring the channel is set to trade copy or whatever you've called your channel. Now on the receiver, you've got the Forex symbol suffix and custom symbol mappings. These are two areas that can really create issues when you're trading between different brokers, particularly if they have different names for each symbol. Often one broker will have a symbol called Euro USD, while the other broker might use the Euro USD.A or .pro or .fx. You can set those custom symbol mappings here using the format on the screen. If this doesn't work and you're sure that both symbols are matching as per your mappings, you may need to get in touch with your broker to allow an FX Blue Trade Copier to operate. Some brokers require a manual change in their back end, so just an email will help sort that out and they should get straight onto it for you. On the receiver side, you can set permitted symbols so that you can eliminate, let's say you want index only and they are sending Forex trades, you can just make sure that you're only trading on the index symbols you want to focus on. You can also set the time of day so that you can avoid trading on, say, a Wednesday. If you know that's a day that generally doesn't work out that well or has less probability, you can eliminate trading on a Wednesday from the receiver. This also works for time of day. So if you don't want to trade outside the market open area for an index, you can set that to only focus on the market open period of, say, half an hour to an hour. On the receiver side is where you can generally set more of the options for volume. So you've got used fixed lot size, which basically means that every trade that comes through, you would be using a fixed lot size on the trade. So let's say the sender sends through a trade at 0.01 and then you've got it set to 1 here. It would change that 0.01 to a 1 full lot for all trades that come through. If the sender sent a 0.05, it would still trade at 1.0 on the receiver side. It's also important to make sure that only one option is showing a value here. So I'm going to change this back to 0. So this option is more for if you only use the one fixed lot size across the whole account, regardless of the type of trade, the symbol, and so on. The standard setting is use risk factor of 1.0. What that does is it bases the lot size on the receiver side relative to the equity of the two accounts. So for example, if the receiver has 10 times more equity than the sender account, then the lot size would effectively be about 10 times more than the sender has sent you across. So if the sender sent one volume and you've got 10 times more equity and you use risk factor of 1, then you'd have 10 times the volume. come in on this side, on the receiver side. You can obviously adjust this relative to the risk you want to take on the account. So if you wanted to take on about 1/5 of the risk that you're sending across, you could set it to 0.2, and that will reduce the calculation based on the relative equity of the two accounts. So that's normally set to 1.0. If you know the lot size that you want to use from the sender compared to your receiver, you can use the lot size multiplier. In essence, the fixed lot size will give you the same lot size all the time, whereas the lot size multiplier option will multiply out based on the sender's volume. So let's say it's 0.1, and if you put 10 here, that would multiply the 0.1 by 10, giving you one full lot per trade. If the sender was to increase the lot size, then the lot size multiplier will increase relative to the sender's lot volume that it sends over. You can also set some protections on the receiver account for max and min lots. So if you don't want to trade less than, say, 0.5, you can put that there, so you're not going to get a trade that will operate on less than 0.5. And you can also set max lots. I think it's quite a good method to set a max lots option because you don't want to over risk your account, and this will help protect against any unexpected deliveries from the sender side. If you have the blue screen up, you may have an error that says no heartbeat detected or no heartbeat received, and it won't actually say this connected to. Ensuring the sender and receiver are both on that same channel, so trade copy in this sense, is step 1. Step 2 is to make sure that both of the broker accounts, so on the sender and the receiver, they're both logged in and active. Generally, you can tell that by checking down here. If you've got an MS read or the kilobytes come up, that means there's traffic coming to and from your account. If it says invalid account or no connection, that tells you that you're not logged in properly. If there's still errors coming through or it's not working, always be sure to check the Experts tab and the Journal tab, these two tabs down in the toolbox, and then go and Google the error code that you receive. It will generally come up with some options and some ways to fix each error. However, the majority of the errors you'll come across have been covered in this video. FX Blue are quite good in that they have a full user guide for the trade copier, which is linked in the description below. It's quite comprehensive, so you've got a glossary which you can click the link and go straight to your issue, or you can actually read through and find what you need to know to set up your particular situation and how you need it to be traded. In 5.3 it does show you the trading error codes for either the MT4 or MT5, and they're linked here. And you can see the code which you'll get in your Experts or Journal tab. I always check both, and it will tell you what the issue is. So for example, this one here, 10031, it says no connection with the trade server. So you've got to figure out, okay, how am I going to connect to the broker? And here you've got invalid request. If that comes up and you're still not sure what it might relate to, you can actually Google that, and sometimes you'll get a bit more information as to what might be happening. So always be sure to just put into Google the error code that you get, and that should give you a bit more information. Sometimes it is worth, as mentioned earlier, just contacting the broker, send them an email, because sometimes there are settings in their back end that they need to set up before you can actually copy trade or run algorithms on their MT4 or MT5 platform. Hopefully that's cleared up your issues. Feel free to comment below if you have any other questions or you're getting an error code that you can't fix. If you enjoyed this video or took something positive from it, please hit the like button below. It lets me know this is helping others. To see more great content like this, please subscribe, hit the bell icon, and stay updated with the latest.